Welcome into on-location coverage, a spectacular sunny Saturday afternoon, not just any Saturday, but semi-final Saturday at the Avco Bassmaster Elite at Santee Cooper Lakes here in Clarendon County, South Carolina. It is day number 3. And unlike last week, we had the same leader since day number 1, but all that has changed here on semi-final Saturday. Luke Palmer, who finished 4th here last year, has had a great day and moved into the lead. But the big mover for today, well, of course, Drew Cook trying to defend his title all the way into 2nd place. Mark Menendez from the mid-30s has made a giant charge up into our top 3. So much going on this incredible body of water. A lot of moving, a lot of changing. But we're going to catch you up on all of that with your Toyota midday report. And let's start with Jacob Porosnik, a 4-time Bassmaster winner.
Yeah, this tournament sets up just perfect for Jacob Porosnik. He loves the sight fish. Started on about a 7-pounder that he saw yesterday afternoon, and boy, did he get the day started off right. He put that fish in his live well this morning. Early on, got him off to a really, really good start. He said he's been able to find a lot of fish on the bed, but not many big ones. Definitely need to catch that 7-pounder this morning. And that's been the whole story here this week, Dave. Not a lot of bites, but gosh, you get opportunity to catch some big ones. You need to put those fish in the boat. Jacob Porosnik, great start this morning, was able to do that. Catch a few males a little bit later, and he said he's going to change in plans for this afternoon.
3-time Elite Series champion. Oh, golly, it's Steve Kennedy.
Steve Kennedy, a great track record here on Santee Cooper Lakes since, I guess, 2006 up until now. Always in the top 15 or so. Steve Kennedy doing exactly what you need to do here at Santee Cooper Lakes. Not necessarily catching a lot of fish, but you've got to catch those 4, 5, 6-pounders and even some 7-pounders we've seen for sure coming to the scales this week. Steve Kennedy starting out on the shad spawn and then moving back in his backwater. Actually real close to where we're staying this week, Dave Mercer. Moving back there and catching a few off the bed.
Come on, your day 2 leader, Matt Robertson, has been the man with the plan, saying, catch me if you can, but today a little tough for Davey Height.
Very different for him today. I'm surprised that he's struggling as much, but if you've been watching Bass Live, you see he's had some opportunities, and he's not been able to capitalize them. He had a 7-pounder. I saw the fish clearly jump off in front of the boat for him. This is it right here. When it jumps again, you'll see. Really, really just, here we go. Threw his bait right back to it. You just can't get away with losing fish like that. We saw Paul Mueller yesterday lose a couple big opportunities. You lose 4-pounders, that's one thing, but when you lose in 6 and 7-pounders, it's hard to recover. You see Matt Robertson losing another fish there just a little bit later. It's just been a slow day for him, but just really the story of his day is missed opportunities.
Well, thrill of victory and agony of angling, but a guy that has been on the right side of that all season long, your progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year leader, Brandon Cobb.
Yeah, it's just amazing. We were talking to Brian New just a few minutes ago, and he's talking about, how do I get out of this slump? I know I can be okay with it because I know I've been doing the best I could do, but things haven't been going right. Well, everything has been going right for Brandon Cobb, including yesterday, a 7-pounder ate his bait when he was hung off the side of a tree. So Brandon Cobb got it all going on right this year.
But don't forget about your defending champion, Drew Cook.
I'll have to be honest with you, Dave Mercer. I'm surprised, but I don't know why I should be surprised after seeing Drew Cook and Drew Benton catch as many fish as they did last week. Sight fishing, Drew Benton had to catch a few of his fish throwing a square bill crankbait that final day. But it's really amazing, and a lot of my friends that fish here have been amazed by what Drew Cook and Drew Benton have been able to do, because there's always some fish still spawning here in May, but there's just not a lot of them. And it seems like everyone that moves up, especially in the Potato Creek area, Drew Cook or Drew Benton catches that fish.
It has been the same story for 2 weeks in a row. We keep hearing that the Drews are going to run out of fish. They're not going to be able to catch them anymore sight fishing, and they keep proving all of us wrong. And at this point, Drew Cook is currently unofficially in 2nd place and maybe 5 fish away from doing something so rare, and that is defending his Elite Series title.
And it means so much, in my opinion, because we're here a month later, and it didn't really surprise me last year that he did what he did, but it would definitely surprise me if he's able to win here tomorrow on Championship Sunday. Speaking of surprise, does not surprise us to see Luke Palmer. Had a great tournament here last year. On this day, third day of the event last year, 33 pounds, I think he brought in 5-fish limit. Off to a great start. And he gets it that here at Santee Cooper, you don't have to catch 15 or 20 fish. You have to catch the right ones. He's been able to do that, mainly fishing cypress trees. This fish came on a jerkbait, fishing around some eelgrass. Here's another fish around a cypress tree. He's using his forward-facing sonar, along with just using the right baits. 20-pound test line. He's been able to, and I don't want to jinx him here, but he's been able to put every fish in the boat that bites his bait.
Luke Palmer having an incredible event after finishing 4th place here last year, and you just have to feel that with Luke Palmer, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I mean, he has been fantasy fishing gold literally since he joined the Elite Series. I mean, he is such a consistent angler, but he's one of those anglers that's kind of knocking at that door, and you're wondering, when is it going to be his time? Yeah,
actually, I remember when you brought it up to me how consistent he is, and he just, like you say, very quietly has been consistent his whole Elite Series career. And this is a place that he really enjoys fishing. There's certain anglers, Brandon Polnick, they just love to come here. Obviously, Drew Cook, Drew Benton, they love the Santee Cooper Lakes. Luke Palmer is one of those, and it would not surprise me if he doesn't close the deal tomorrow.
Luke Palmer, an incredible angler, incredibly consistent, a 4-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier. But let's get out on the water live right now. And you know what, Davey? I couldn't think of anybody better than a guy we have seen an incredible amount of this year, and that is your Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year leader, the COBB, Brandon Cobb.
Here we go. You see that head swing around on a swivel, you knew he had a bite.
He's a little bitty, but he's a keeper, I think. Not very big, but it's one more towards the total. That's a keeper, right?
Also keep in mind he is leading Phoenix Boat's Big Bass of the Year for an 8-12 that he caught in Okeechobee, and you've got to believe that if he can get out of here with that lead, which is a $10,000 bonus, that he is going to officially win the Phoenix Boat's Big Bass of the Year, unless we see, I mean, let him bring on a 9-pound smallmouth.
He threw my worm off. That worm survived
all day. What a way to
day.
leave the mid-season 4th event of the year, leading AOI and leading Big Bass of the Year. That's pretty awesome.
West Coast rookie Bryant Smith.
That's a big one.
This South Carolina swing has been great for him. You know, this has really been his breakout event. Everybody in the West Coast talked about how talented he is, and we're starting to see it.
Away from trouble. No, away from trouble.
A lot of anglers fishing these same cypress trees, and yesterday he just, you know, they like to say got in a bad rotation, and that's just really what it is. You get fishing behind anglers and you don't really realize it, and they're putting them in a live well, and you don't understand why you're not getting bites. Oh boy.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Come here, baby. There we go. Just had to move areas. Hey. Just had to move areas. Don't know why I was being so stubborn with that. Come here. Let's see if we can get this out without hurting you.
I feel like we've seen a lot of spinning rods this week.
Yeah, it's just a lot of wacky rig, finesse, spinning rods. This place is certainly known for that.
Come on, baby.
Ken Ellis has been doing it for 25 years, and now everybody you see more, and it's, believe it or not, in the spring of the year, you see more people on the Santee Cooper Lakes nowadays with a spinning rod in the hand than you do a bait caster. Local anglers. It's absolutely incredible.
Could have been the buck.
Have we reached the time where people don't make fun of them as much anymore?
Oh, maybe it was.
I mean,
Some people.
good point.
Not that
Your
big.
Angler of the Year leader hooked up live. Also using a spinning rod.
We've seen what Brandon Cobb can do with a spinning rod in his hand this time of the year. It doesn't have to be on
It's
Lake
not that
Hartwell.
big,
It
but
can be on Lake
I'll take it.
Fork. It can be.
Speaking of great South Carolina swings, but its entire season has been great.
Yes.
That's 5. Hit it a little deep. Here's the problem. He ate it a little quicker than I anticipated there. Yep, that was probably the buck I caught first.
Nice. 5, boy.
You got a limit. I'm about to steal my hook off my other rod in here.
You know what we need to see more of? Paul Mueller.
Absolutely.
And just like that, lickety split, barber trick, Paul Mueller on your screen. He was really excited this morning, said, man, the potential of a giant, like a double digit, is there all day long. He knew
Gosh, man. That ain't the one I saw.
what happened yesterday, but he said, I can recover. Those fish are there. I just got to make them
How
bite.
big some of these fish are that are with these fish. It's crazy. It's like they're either 2 pounds or they're over 6. Nuts.
So how did he act on stage yesterday after
There's a great
those
old big
losses?
one.
Did he just say, hey, it's part of the sport, part of the game, or was
I
he
mean, a
really,
big
really
one.
just
Sitting
Yeah,
there,
bummed?
there's 2
he said it
stumps.
happens. He said
We gotta
he's a
catch.
very
We
religious
gotta get us
person,
5.
obviously, and
That's just
he
what we gotta do.
always seems to go back there. And he said, you know,
But he
if it's
wasn't going
God's will,
anywhere.
it's God's will. And he said, I know the fish are in the area. If I meant to win, I will win.
Starting to bite,
He did
though.
say, though, when he won on the St. John's River, he said he lost a few giants on
He's
day
well
2.
over.
He thought maybe this
16.
could be good luck.
Not a big one, but we're getting somewhere now. We got a little bit of time. I don't know why. We're just moving around a little bit. Seeing fish. I've seen fish all day. I've seen some really big ones. Maybe spent a little too much time fishing for them, but that's what we're fishing for, is big ones. Now we're just fishing to get a limit. If we get a big one or two, that will help tremendously. And they're here too. I mean, there's some bigger ones here. God, man, there's 2 of them right there. 3 of them.
Paul Mueller knew the problem that lay ahead this morning. He said the big fish are there. I got to get the right number of bites. Now back out with our leaders, Robertson, Cobb, Cook, and Palmer.
Oh gosh. So I'm like, well, we're asking 4 or 5 people around there. No one's got an extra GoPro. So we take off across the lake.
Well, I can fish those up there, but we might as well.
50.
While we're right here.
And this lake, anybody knows this lake at all, knows you run the channel or you run the markers that they have for you. Not us. We went across the middle of this thing, stump infested Santee, and made it over there, run all the way back in there to Patrick's house, and I ain't even got my rods out yet. And I'm trying to get rods out, and he runs in there, grabs the stuff, here we go. Back across the lake we go. Well, we make it across. I kick him off at the dock, and my marshal steps in with me, and they're on boat 66.
Get away from me.
And by the time I get, because I had to go on the inside of the line, so I go through, I kick, my marshal gets in, I have enough time to grab 1 rod out, and they're like boat 74.
I was hoping that would be like a 7-pounder.
Oh my gosh. I was like, well, I said, Aaron was stressing all day, of course. He's like, oh, Palmer's going to be pissed. He's going to kill me, you know. And I'm like, dude, it wasn't like you meant to, you know. And then, of course, he stresses all day because I catch one fish. You know, I don't have a fish at 1:30, and he's just like, he's going to kill me, you know. And it all worked out.
Make sure one didn't eat that while I threw it under there. No, we're good.
Well, that was story time with Luke Palmer. I mean, always entertaining. And these are our leaders on camera as we follow the action. But the greatest thing about semifinal Saturday is the opportunity to make a big move. And our Marathon Peak performance is the huge day that Mark Menendez has had here on semifinal Saturday.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Mark had a good day. Day one, we had a camera with him on day two. Struggled, finally caught a 7-pounder. Got things going a little bit at the end, but look at him this morning. He got things going early and often. 7:58, a 7-pounder. A 6.5 at 9:58, another 6 at 10:53. And before 12 noon, finished out his 5-fish limit with the small one, by far the smallest one, 3 pounds, 8 ounces. That's why Mark Menendez has to be our Marathon Peak performance of moving Saturday.
And it may just be a brand new VMC Monster Bag of the tournament, because that was weighed in on day number 1 by our day 2 leader, of course, Matt Robertson, 28 pounds and an ounce. So he's flirting in that area, and he still has a tiny 3/8 to cull.
Yeah, and he has that 3/8 to cull, and most of these guys going to underestimate just a little bit, so he might already be there. Might already be there with a VMC Monster Bag. I'm saying he's pushing 29 pounds already with the 3/8.
Our 2-day leader, Matt Robertson, has slipped down to 5th place, but we have seen fireworks every afternoon, and I'm saying, go, Matt Robertson, go. Tap it in, Happy. Tap, tap-a-roo.
Fishing shallow looks like it'll be your best bet, because then you get largemouth and smallmouth.
Well, we'll see how it goes.